What's up, everybody? It's Make It Make Sense. And what is going on with Love and Marriage Huntsville? The ratings are down, and fans have a petition to get rid of Carlos. We got to talk about it all. Like the video as my intro plays, because we got a lot to get into.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. That's all. 1 and 1 got to equal 2.
Make it make sense, boo.
Big moves.
Surfer.
Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense.
Sun in the sky.
Okay, guys. So I had heard, y'all know I keep my ear to the streets. I had heard that there was going to be a Love and Marriage Huntsville blackout, but I didn't necessarily want to report on it until we had enough ratings to kind of see if that was a thing. And let you guys see what the actual ratings are. It's not looking great for Love and Marriage Huntsville. So these are the season 6 ratings, and in the 2s is not great. Love and Marriage Huntsville is one of OWN's top rated shows. So the fact that we're seeing the 2s and a season low of 232,000 viewers, I don't necessarily know what to say. I don't know if this is the blackout or maybe interest is waning in the show. I have heard a lot of fans talking about the fact that they do not feel that Martell is held accountable for things that he says or does. So, and they are not necessarily liking the fact that Carlos did a press tour with him, and the fact that during one of the reunions, Carlos actually cried when he was, I assume, trying to get Martell to, do better. There are a lot of things, but, I keep my ear to the streets, and I have talked to a few fans, and what continues to be a recurring theme is that people feel as though Martell gets preferential treatment on the show. Now, you can agree or disagree with that, but these ratings are telling the tale that maybe something needs to change, maybe like a recast or a revamp. So in the world of ratings, when you see a demo, it just means people between the ages of 18 and 49. Now, for women specifically, I think the sweet spot is 25 to 54. Now you see these points. It says 0.06, 0.07. So that's just based on the total number of people in the United States who all have a television in their house. This means that 0.06% of people aged 18 to 49 actually watch the show. That's what that means. If people talk about ratings are very important because advertisers pay the stars of the show based on, the network pays the stars, but the stars of the show, to continue have a job, they need advertisers to pay as much as possible to the network. That's how their salaries get paid. So if you are a Love and Marriage Huntsville fan, definitely put in the comments, are you watching this season? And if you are not, put why you're not watching, because let me show you guys in comparison. Last season, the lowest they got was around 380. There was nothing in the 2s. But typically they're in between 4 and I would say high 500,000 people watching the show. It's, the numbers don't lie. So I am a little bit confused because, again, it's one of the top rated shows on OWN. Now let's move on to Carlos. Now, if you don't know Love and Marriage Huntsville, Carlos is the executive producer of the show, and he was the executive producer of some of Bravo's biggest shows like RHOA, and he worked as an executive producer of Real Housewives in New Jersey. He also does YouTubing. Well, again, I was quite surprised when somebody sent me the petition to get him fired. Let me show you guys. I was actually really surprised because outside of Mariah Huck, I've never known of an executive producer to be removed. Now, Mariah is still an executive producer on the show, but she can't be a cast member. So it says, please remove King as producer of Love and Marriage Huntsville on the OWN network. Now, I got this information, maybe the day after it dropped. And so initially, well, I know who started the petition because I still have that information, but it's been changed to protect Black women. And it says Carlos King has fostered a hostile work environment on the set of Love and Marriage Huntsville. He has allowed Martell Holt to harass and terrorize his ex-wife on numerous occasions. There have been multiple times when Martell was raging uncontrollably and had to be held back by intervening cast members from physically attacking Melody, both on and off camera. Martell allegedly assaulted a female crew member on the set of Behind Every Man in a rage over not having contact with Melody after she had left him. Also, his volatile behavior, at least at the latest reunion, allegedly included attacking Melody's makeup artist. Martell recently showed up unannounced, uninvited, and unhinged, forcing his way into a birthday party while filming. He caused a horrible scene at this event full of children. And Carlos is aware of all of this. An employee at any other workplace would have long since been terminated due to such behavior. People have been fired from reality TV shows for much less. But Martell has been giving grace upon grace upon grace. Instead of holding Martell accountable, Carlos has embarked on a joint press tour with him to rehab his public image. I told y'all, the people are up in arms about the press tour because they make it feel, they feel as though Martell is now getting preferential treatment. You're crying for him at a reunion. You are doing a press tour with him solely. Carlos is protecting Martell's job at the expense of the show. Carlos has allowed members of the Scott family to harass and bully Melody's mother, Miss Vanessa, which he did apologize for. And he allowed Marcel Scott to suggest to Louis Whitlow that his wife Tiffany should be slapped. The abusive behavior towards women on this show is very disturbing. In addition, Carlos is showing favoritism to the Scotts, allowing them to completely fake their storylines. So let's move on to the blackout. We are asking that Carlos King be removed and replaced if we are to resume supporting the show. We will continue to promote and support this blackout until Carlos has been fired. I told y'all that there's a blackout. And the ratings suggest that maybe, just maybe, the blackout is working. Those ratings just are not very great, especially for a top-rated show. I don't know that the petition, honestly, I'll just be honest with you. I'm a straight shooter. I don't think the petition necessarily is going to hold a lot of weight with Carlos. He's not going to leave the show that he helped put together. As I understand it, it was Melody's brainchild. She took it to Carlos, and as it stood, he did not like the show as was presented. But then he came back to her, and she came up with, the couple show. And that's why Melody is and will always be a producer on this show. So I don't know. I don't think that there could ever be a Love and Marriage Huntsville without Carlos and Melody. I mean, it was Melody's brainchild, and then Carlos decided to executive produce. So I don't know. I mean, petitions do work, but I think what is really going to be impactful to the network is if they get wind that there is a blackout and the ratings have had a steep decline, heads might roll. So y'all's guess is as good as mine, but tell me if you're still watching the show. Tell me if you enjoy the show. Let me know who your favorite is. And let me know if you're surprised by this petition, because the petition takes it a step further. I've been hearing around YouTube for a while that people were unhappy with Carlos, but I don't know. I've never heard Carlos respond, so maybe it's not as impactful to him. I don't know. You'd have to ask Carlos if he cares. But for me, I think whoever put together the blackout it might be working because the numbers don't lie. So this is crazy. I will keep you updated. I'll let you know if there's an uptick or a downshift in the numbers moving forward. But y'all, I don't know. And also look out. I do have a major interview. So look out for that. I gotta go. See you guys later. Have a good one.